Then, after Spellbook of Secrets 2.0, we have two copies of the Grand Spellbook Tower. Our version of Pot of Greed allows us to draw an extra card every turn, which is why cards like Fiendish Chain and Solemn Warning that push our opponents back a turn are excellent. Then Spellbook of the Master, or as I like to call, Spellbook of the Brick, because it's always dead until you get your engine rolling. Like, you don't want to draw Master, you want to search for Master. Two copies of Eternity. You always want to run two, because more than likely, turn two, after you already used Fate once, you're gonna get Eternity, then bring back Master, then bring back Secrets, then bring back Fate, like that. And then you can banish the Eternity to make the Fate stay alive, but you always need one Eternity not banished, because there's no way to bring back an Eternity. Like, you can only bring back spellbooks with an Eternity, and it can't bring back itself, so you always want two. Two Spellbook of Wisdom, because there's a trap heavy format right now, like helps get around stuff like Bottomless Trap Hole, Fiendish Chain, Breakthrough Skill, mostly the Breakthrough Skills, and Spellbook of Power. Just makes it easier with two copies to special summon Priestess from the hand, plus it's basically like a free pop with Priestess if you use the Crescent Secrets Master Power combo. You can pop and still have your Fate next turn, which brings us to the most powerful card in the deck, Fate. Basically, the goal of this deck is to set Bottomless every turn, just one spot removal. You try and push through it. I use a a Maxi on you, and I just slow you down with Fiendish Chains and stuff like that. And yeah, Fate plus Tower equals GG, because you can like keep searching for it and reusing it. And then for the other one, we have Spellbook of Life, which is just like super good card, like, but you should only run one because it's kind of a brick. But like when you can just search for it, or like late game when you just have like super free pluses, like a Monster Reborn is just really good, because you can reborn a Priestess, which can pop, which can attack, which can get over anything with like a Spellbook of Power. And then for the one-os, we have Book of Moon, which is kind of like Wisdom, in that you can summon Blue Boy, they use Breakthrough Skill, then you can use Book of Moon, your search goes through, and you'll get a second search later when the Blue Boy gets flipped up. And yes, I run Dark Hole, the only surviving member of the Trinity that was Monster Reborn, Heavy Storm, and Dark Hole. And Dark Hole actually got me out of a lot of tight spots throughout the tournament. Like, this one guy opened Thunder King Ryo game 1 against Spellbooks, like he was main decking Ryo, and he drew it turn 1. Like, I'm pretty sure he's stacking his deck. Then game 3, he also drew Ryo, but I used Justice plus Power to get over that. Another reason to run 2 Power. And yeah, that's it for the spells. 20 spells in total. It's 10 monsters, 10, actually I guess it's 11 monsters. 9 traps, 20 spells. As for the traps, we have 3 Fiendish Chain. Don't know where my 3rd Fiendish Chain is right now. Had to borrow it from another dude. And yep. Fiendish Chain, pretty much best card in deck, because basically Wisdom and Fate can handle their spells, traps, and monsters. But Fiendish Chain handles the monster effects. Like, monster effects is the only thing this deck has a problem with, which is why I really don't like Moral Attack, because Moral Attack can like get your Priestess and get your Justice. But next up, I have 1 Breakthrough Skill. Maybe even 2 Breakthrough Skill would be good this format, but Fiendish Chain is definitely better than Breakthrough Skill in this deck, because you can Fiendish Chain their monster, and next turn just like use Spellbook of Power to punch over that monster, do some damage, and get like an extra search and pop with your Priestess, because you got to use Power. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, then you're not a Spellbook player, just trust me. Then next up we have Compulse. Probably one of the best traps of the format, since Bottomless, Torrential, Well, Solemn's still as good as ever, but Compulse is like chainable. Don't have to pay 2,000 life points. Just Compulse is an extremely solid card that every single deck should be running. Um, Next up, we have Bottomless Trap Hole. A lot of people say this card isn't so good anymore. I say it is. I say I can just use my fate on other stuff. Like, I feel like the goal of this deck is to set fate every turn. So if you get this off of one of your bonus draws from tower, it's just like, oh, now I have two fates. Like and you only have to use it in emergencies because you can just like banish their one monster per turn usually. And then if they do manage to push through and special summon two big monsters, you have Bottomless and Fate. So Bottomless is just really good in this deck. And then I ran Torrential Tribute. It actually did work when I was playing against Shadal, so I was like, oh crap, I forgot to side this out. But then he tributed for Caius to banish my face down Magician. Like he knew where I had set Fate because I just said it, so he used MST on Fate, and I used Fate to set Magician face down. Then he tributed Winda for Caius and targeted my blue boy, so I just changed Torrential Tribute, so it was like a 1-for-1, so it really wasn't that bad. And he didn't have any more plays that turn, so I got to draw 2 more off the tower my next turn and just 1 from there. And then this is Mirror Force. It's supposed to be a Solemn Warning. I borrowed that card too because my Solemn has been supposedly coming in the mail for like a month now. Like the guy on eBay is being so bad about it. But yeah, Mirror Force isn't that bad because just like Maxi, if they want to get around Fate, they gotta push hard, and Mirror Force punishes them for doing the only thing they can. And yeah, that's the end of the main deck. For the extra deck, these are literally the only 2 monsters I summoned the entire tournament. Ghost Trick So Cute Boss and Downward Magician. But then of course you always gotta have that Slacker Magician, even though we don't run at any level 1s besides Effect Family. Yeah, Ghost Trick So Cute Boss is good because you can make her use Spellbook of Power, maybe even Spellbook of Master to pump her up to 3,400. Pop literally any card. Well, like, what if, you could even pop Leo. Oh, I guess you couldn't pop Leo because you couldn't target him, but you can, like, pop any card, basically, and then attack and get searches off of that. Like, this is just a crazy card. Then main phase 2, go into Downward Magician, which is basically Gaia Charger with 100 more attack. So, yeah, I literally didn't summon anything else in this extra deck. Except I almost summoned Big Eye one time. And, but I didn't actually summon the Big Eye because it was against Shadal. Well, I was thinking about it, but the guy scooped before I could decide. So now onto the side deck. 1 D-Fissure, completely shut down the Mermail player along with this Soul Drain. 1 D-Fissure, 1 Soul Drain. If they were at more than 1, I would play more than 1. Basically shuts down all graveyard-based decks, and D-Fissure doesn't send the spellbooks to the decks, so I can I can still operate, but they can't. Kaiku to Kaiku, really good against Mythic Dragon Rulers, and like Lightsworn and stuff like that. Just banish everything in the graveyard, and he's an Imperial Iron Wall. Like, people always forget that Kaiku has effect where he's an Imperial Iron Wall and nobody can banish. Or your opponent cannot banish anything, like you still can. You got the... Oh, where's the third one? You got that triple MST in the side deck. Because so many people are using 3 Vanities this format that, like, you'll reveal 3 for Priestess, people will chain Vanities. Then you just use an MST and blow up a different one of their back row. Then they lose the Vanities and another back row, and then you just summon the Priestess anyway. So then they chain their 3rd trap and you chain Wisdom. So yeah, super broken. Let's see, what else do we got here? 2 more Mirror Force in the side deck. because like there are a lot of people in my locals that still play the old kind of decks like Mermail, Madolche, even windups and stuff like that. So Mirror Force is pretty much good against all the decks. Like I know Mirror Force is so slow, but like I said, you have to overextend if you want to beat Prophecy, and then Mirror Force just shuts that down. So trust me, Mirror Force is a really good card in Prophecy as long as you're setting it in against the right decks. Then I also have the Smokescreen into World. Nobody has been playing Infernity lately at my locals, but World just like murders Infernity and decks that just like have a lot of setup, like I don't know, like when Dolce with their ticket and Chateau and stuff like that. Like it's won me so many games against Infernity, but one thing that sucks about World is that you'll always draw World. So yeah, then I also run one Spellbook Starhall for the mirror match, and I actually won my I actually won my Spellbook mirror because he sided in two of these, so he like pumped up all his monsters, but then he didn't have enough fates and traps to take me down, and I just like beat him down within a couple turns. I got two priestesses and just did 7,500 damage plus 500 with a blue boy and just won. So, but there's a lot of Spellbook players at my locals, and this card's decent in the mirror match. Then I had Phoenix Wing Windblast, just a really good card for when like setting them back another turn, so you get another draw and another fate. Like cards that set your opponent back are super good in Prophecy. And when you side in the World, you side in the Wing Blast, because if you draw a World, you can discard it off the Wing Blast. And then some people might say this card is outdated, but I have a Jowgen in the side deck, because one thing that people never expect, like if you go first, you go Blue Boy, Crescent, Secrets, Master, get Fade and Tower. Then you activate Tower, set Fate. Then it goes to your opponent's turn. The first thing they do is activate MST on the tower, or they activate like Shaddoll Fusion, sending well, I guess they couldn't send it from the deck, but like a dragon and another Shaddoll to the graveyard to summon Winda, and then they or I guess it wouldn't matter if they already summoned Winda, but like when they MST the tower, you have 3 spellbooks engraved off of Fate. Even if you only had 2 tower counts itself, you can special summon a Jowgen in defense mode, and you have Fate set so they can only normal summon Fate whatever they normal summon, and then they're not allowed to summon for the rest of the turn. It's just Jowgen is too good against some decks. And if I know my opponent is running MST, then the most OP card in the deck, Blizzard Princess for those trap heavy decks. You have a Magician on board. Actually, oh yeah, you do have to already have a Magician on board. Then you can even make this over your Downer Magician. You tribute for Blizzard Princess, and unless they have Solemn Warning, they cannot use traps for the rest of the turn. Then you special summon both Priestesses, and then you got game right there, because they'll just blow up whatever is in their way, and then attack for game. Like Blizzard Princess, too good. But yeah, that's the profile. See you guys later.